Gonzalez, that's right. I didn't have to look at my notes. That's your full name? Fuck yeah. The power of manifestation. Please welcome to the stage right now, Mr. Ewan Ooh!
You know, a lot of important things were invented in China, you know, like paper, and porcelain, and gunpowder and stuff. One thing not invented in China, though, the car. Why didn't the oyster share his food? He's shellfish. Alright, I'll tell you this joke. There was a sailor, right? He got hired to do a new ship, and so he's doing this work. And after about 6 months, he's talking to his buddy. He's like, "Hey man, you know, when are we going to port? You know, like I'm getting horny over here, right?" And his buddy's like, "Oh, you know, we're not gonna go to port for like 6 more months." And he's like, "What the hell?" He's like, "I can't wait that long." He's like, "Well, have you tried the barrel?" He's like, "What's that?" So they go into this little room, and there's this barrel with a hole in it. He's like, "There you go," right? So he's like fucking this barrel, and it works pretty good, you know? And so he's like, "Yeah, that barrel was awesome. Hell yeah, you know, I'm gonna use it every day." He's like, "Well, every day but Sunday, right?" And he's like, "Oh, you can't use it on Sunday?" He's like, "Yeah, you can, but you know, on Sunday's your day in the barrel." What do you call a person that can make a business suit, real fast? Taylor Swift. Yeah, so, you know, Pride Month is over, but Pride Month needs a mascot. And I got the perfect mascot, the flamingo. Right? They're pink, you know, they love to dance, and they're a non-predatory bird. You know, they only eat like brine shrimp and algae. Nobody gives a damn about brine shrimp. And whatever. You know, and even the word flamingo, whatever flamingo means. Oh no, okay. And a group of flamingos, right? Do you know what that is? It's not called a flock. They're called a flamboyance. Right? How can you guess that, you know? And even the name flamingo is flaming O. Flaming O. That's just a burning butthole. And, you know, whenever a guy like brags about how big his dick is, it's usually the opposite. You know, usually you got a little dick, right? I was talking to this guy the other day, and he's like, "Oh man, my dick is so huge, I'm hung like a horse." And I was like, "Yeah, right, like a seahorse." What did the Australian chess player say to the waiter? He said, "Checkmate." Yeah, I think Shaquille O'Neal's like the happiest man on earth, you know? He's like, whatever, so jolly and shit. Like, everyone just loves him, right? I think because he's never been messed with. Like, how are you going to bully someone who's so tall that his crotch is in your face, right? It's like, "Hey, Shaq, give me your lunch money." Never mind. Hey, you seen these, you hear about the thing going around where, like, if you're a favorite woman and you're alone in the woods, would you rather meet a bear or a strange man, right? And a lot of the women are choosing the bear. Well, I think it's just ignorance of bear knowledge. Because I met a bear in the woods once, and he fucked the shit out of me. Yeah, you know, North Korea, a couple weeks ago, sent over 200 balloons over to South Korea. Yeah, they were like loaded with garbage and excrement. But that statement's not exactly accurate, because they weren't filled with shitty trash. No, they're packed with Dane Cook's jokes. Yeah, you know, in response to that, South Korea set up these loudspeakers, and they're blasting like anti-communist propaganda and like K-pop and stuff. And in response to that, North Korea set up their own loudspeakers, but they don't have like bands like BTS and stuff in North Korea, you know. So they just blast the most annoying sounds they can think of. Hey, you probably guessed it. Matt Rife's comedy special. I'll tell you a story. Yeah, you know, because I was in the United States Army, 1st Cavalry Division, Fort Hood. Yeah, it's weird being the only Asian person. And every day people just look at me like, "Are we supposed to shoot this guy?" Yeah, it's cool being in the Army, you know. You get some good benefits, right? But I'd say the best benefit was the ability to give old men hard-ons. Yeah, you know, old men, they love hearing Army stories. It doesn't even matter what race they are, you know. Like if I meet an old man in a park and I start telling Arnie stories, that's when he start coming all over me. I'll tell you an Arnie story right now. You know, people get weird names, acquire weird nicknames in the Army sometimes. And in my opinion, the worst nickname was this guy, and his name was Nopey, right? Anyway, right in the beginning, our drill sergeants tell us there's like 200 of us in base training. And they're like, all right, the 2 best shooters will get to shoot the rocket launcher. It's called the AT-4. It's a real life rocket launcher, right? And we're like, wow, you know, we want to do that. Anyway, I try my best, but I'm like 5th out of like 200. And so one morning, they get us all together, and then we're all watching from the bleachers, right? And then the number 1 shooter goes up first, and they hand him a rocket launcher. And then like it takes him a couple minutes to set it up because there's like 5 different steps you have to do. And then so he's fumbling with it, and then he puts it on his shoulder, right? And then so we're all watching and shit, we're like, you know? And all of a sudden it just goes boom, right? And fucking both sides of him, there's this cloud on either side, and there's fucking like a orange football comes streaming out of it, right? It's like choo! And it like hits his tank and shit. It doesn't blow up instantaneous, it's like choo! Boom and shit. And fucking all these sparks start flying everywhere, you know? And then we're all like, yeah, fuck yeah, it's fucking awesome, you know? And so the next shooter comes out, right? The second best shooter. And then they give him a rocket launcher, right? He's messing with it and he's fumbling with it. And he puts it on his shoulder, right? So we're like, all right. And then it's like, boom! But this one goes straight into the ground and it's just like 10 feet in front of him. And it's just like, boom, right? And then we're like, you suck, what a fucking loser, you know? And then that day, somebody gave him the name No Penis, you know, like no penis, like happiness, but no, I don't know, it's weird, it's dumb. But then that was shortened to Nopey. And for the rest of base training, we're like, what's up, Nopey? You know, to this day, I don't even know what his real name was, but if I saw him right now, I'd be like, Nopey! You know, and he'd be like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, okay, I'll tell you another story. You know, when I was in 7th grade, there was this one kid, he was like this Mexican gangster kid. His name was Chago, right? And then everyone's like, oh man, you better watch out, Chago. You know, his older brother's a fucking gangster, he'll kill you, right? And so all 7th grade, I avoided Chago, like, you know, I was scared of him. And then the very first day of 8th grade, everyone tells, like, he gets to a fight with this little Vietnamese dude, you know, a 7th grader. And I didn't see it, but everyone told me the same story, that basically, like, they're about to fight, and then the Vietnamese dude, right, his name is Viet, he gets into like this weird kung fu stance like this, right? And then everyone just starts laughing, you know, because they think he's joking or something. But then Chago like walks up to him and he just starts punching Chago, you know, and he starts kicking him and stuff. And then they're like, what the hell? And he starts beating him up, you know? And so Chago's got these 2 buddies, right? They're like, fuck this, and they jump in. And this little Vietnamese, he starts beating up all 3 of them, you know? And everyone said the same thing. They said that it seemed like those 3 guys were like moving in slow motion. And this guy was just like, boom, 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 you know? And so Chago's like, fuck this. He goes to his backpack and he gets these 2 sharpened pencils, right? He's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, right? And this guy, he starts kicking the pencils and shit. And he breaks both the pencils. And then he just starts kicking all their asses again, you know? And then eventually they're like, they just run away. They're like, all right, fuck. And then, that's crazy, right? And then after that, everyone fucking took martial arts and shit. And like all of us, we stopped using pencils. All right, yeah, you know, there's a new disorder going around called the Usher syndrome. Yeah, it makes you go blind and deaf. It's pretty serious, you know? You know, I always thought when you got Usher syndrome, it just made you go, yeah. Yeah, my dog, she's cute, you know? Yeah, she's so cute that when other dogs see her, they go, oh my gosh, this dog is so cute. Then they go, oh my gosh, like a dog. Yeah, you know, scientists earlier this year reported for the first time 2 male humpback whales having sex. Yeah, Warner Brothers are already gonna make a movie about them. Yeah, they're called Humpback Mountain. Yeah, it's weird how language changes over time, right? Like nowadays, if a guy came up to me and told me he was gonna blow my brains out, I wouldn't be sure whether to run away or pull my pants down. You know, NFL is 1 Asian player, and he's a kicker. Could you not find a more racist position for this guy? What, you gonna make him go out barefoot in a karate uniform? I was watching this Bigfoot show the other day. It struck me as how dedicated these Bigfoot hunters were. You know, so devoted to something that might not even be real. Like comedians in their careers. Yeah, I was watching the Oscars this past season. Towards the end, I was getting all excited, you know? I was like, hey look, they're bringing back The Mummy. But then I saw it again, I was like, oh no, that's just Al Pacino. And I was talking to this Persian guy or a dude the other day, told me he's Persian. I was like, you're Persian? From Persia? He was like, yeah, where are you from? The Han Dynasty, I guess? I don't know what this last step. You know, comedians will always tell you two things, right? They always tell you when they just get booked on a show. They always tell you when they just had sex. That's a bit juvenile, right? Like myself, I haven't been booked on a show in over a month. But I did get laid last week, so whoa! Alright, my name's Iwanu, I'm out here, thank you.
Yeah!